Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies strengthening your business while offering your talent to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hello, and welcome to another Giver Marketing broadcast. I'm excited today. Hey, Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I know in the past we've had you on the show. You've talked about amazing topics like one of my favorites, ADA compliant websites. Which apparently is a thing. You're supposed to have it. It's a rule, right? And how many people don't even realize that, right?
Yes.
So if you missed that episode, be sure to go find us on YouTube, Giver Marketing Network, and look at Nate. And Nate, pronounce your last name for me.
Saucier.
Saucier, Saucier, right? So Find Nate on there, watch that show. He's also talked about websites and helping your website convert better. I mean, so Nate, that's your space, but that's not all you do, is it?
No, it's not all I do. Besides websites, SEO, making websites accessible to the disabled, I'm also a Alignable ambassador.
Oh, that's exciting. Now, those who have heard of Alignable, maybe you haven't dove in before and really checked it out, but Alignable is a great place to network and get to know people. So I'm excited because as an ambassador, I think you probably know some inside secrets you can share with us that everybody else who might not be used to it or not be familiar with the platform, right? This is an opportunity to learn from somebody who's behind the scenes and knows how it all works. I'm excited.
Thank you.
How did you get involved with, first, how did you get involved with website design? Where did that come from?
Oh, that was like 22 years ago. I was playing around with websites because I had time on my hands. Just had fun with it and enjoyed it so much. And then I went on to work for a nonprofit and worked with their website. From there, started my own business.
I love that. Doing something that you're passionate about and something you enjoy. That's everybody's dream come true, right? Doing what you love every day. And then how did you get involved with Alignable?
I signed up not really knowing what it was, and I didn't do anything with it at first, like a lot of people. I just let it sit there. But then it got more and more features, and I realized what the potential was for it. So I started using it and had success. So I just dove deeper into it.
I love it. Well, I'm a member. I have to admit, I'm one of those that signed up and haven't dove in the way that I really think I could to get the most out of it. So today, you're going to share some secrets on how to win with Alignable, I hope?
Yes.
Oh, yay. I'm so excited. All right, Nate, I know you've got some slides. You want me to pull those up? You ready to dive in?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how to win with Alignable, strategies for success. So we'll talk about the strategies, as you mentioned. And I'm an Alignable ambassador, and I can explain what that is I'm available to people if they want to learn about Alignable. That's probably the main thing. The other thing is I can lead groups, and be in what's called an alliance, which is a local based group. So my alliance is Santa Cruz, which is where I live. And Alignable is really big on local interactions, local networking. So I'll talk more about myself. As I mentioned, I'm an Alignable ambassador, and I've been an Alignable ambassador for 4 years, and I joined Alignable a long time ago. And but I'm Alignable for the local alliance, as I mentioned. I was elected the Business Person of the Year for 3 years in a row. That's a local Business Person of the Year, and that's through the voting of members, of Alignable members.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. So I have some experience. So why Alignable? That's probably what everybody's wondering. Why should I bother with Alignable?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the power of networking. You say, well, I'm in other networking. Well, that's good. But Alignable has 9 million business members, business owners.
9 million. Wow, Nate, that sounds amazing, right? I can definitely say none of the groups I'm in currently have 9 million.
Right. It's the largest. Alignable is the largest group. So first of all, it's large. Second of all, why is networking important? Well, 78% of startups consider networking vital for success. And 92% of consumers trust recommendations over advertising. So the recommendations you get through networking are essential. And 75% of people are more likely to buy from a trusted referral.
So true. So true.
Yeah. So, I can say for myself, most of my clients, more than half, have come from referrals because it has the trust factor built into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big fan of referrals too, Nate. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So 65% of new business opportunities come from referrals. And Alignable, why? That was my cat. Enables vast networking and business growth. So there's a huge potential in Alignable if you use it, which we'll talk about how to use it. So, yeah. So it empowers trusted connections. What Alignable is that it allows you to make meaningful relationships with other people and build referral networks that way. It's not a pitch fest. Unlike LinkedIn, really people don't pitch that much. They explain their services, but they don't do this hardcore selling. They get to know people first and then explain services and then answer questions, that kind of process.
Right. The better we know other people's businesses, the easier they are to refer, right?
Yeah. And Alignable has a tool, if you're a premium member, called 360, Alignable 360. And that lets you know lots of insights, like of your connections. What connections do they have? You see, because the thing is, if I connect with one person, you think, well, that's just one person and they didn't become a client. So, oh, well, no. That one person knows how many people? A lot.
Right.
And of all those people that they know, they may know someone who could be a potential customer for me. So no matter who I network with, and this is true for all networking, no matter who I network with, the potential there is much larger for referrals than it is for directly a client. You can get one client or you can get several referrals. And several referrals could bring you a lot more clients.
Right. So stop pitching and start building relationships.
Yes. So let's talk about the profile. It's the first impression that you give people. So the first thing is a professional headshot. Some people use their logo for the profile picture. It's much better to put your face, your smiley face, because then they can say, oh, this is who I'm connecting with. And also it helps them remember you and recognize you when they meet with you in person, for example.
Yeah, it's like putting your picture on your business card, right?
Yes.
You see it, they recognize you. Oh, okay. I can associate the name with the face and the person. You're a real person.
Yes, exactly. The profile sections are all important, each one of them. So fill them all out completely. Specifically, and when you describe your business, be really clear. Convey what the value is of people working with you or buying your product, and what makes you stand out from the rest. Put both of those in your profile, and that'll really help, because people do read your profile. And then it's going to ask you, what's your ideal customer? And so be specific about that. You need to know your target market no matter when you're networking, especially on Alignable. So my target market is business owners who lead with their heart in their service. And there's a certain age, like 35 to 55 is generally my audience. So be specific, though, what type of, for example, I work with massage therapists, so put them in there. I work with coaches, so I put them in there too, etc. Right?
So don't be afraid to add those keywords in that people are looking for. So
right.
Read it and go, oh, that's me. Or, oh, I know those kind of people. I could totally introduce Nate to people, right?
Right. So much better than just saying, well, anybody who needs my service.
Anybody who has a face, anybody who owns a business. A little bit too vague, kind of dial it down to something very specific, because then you come to mind. Because when everybody's your client, nobody's your client, right? Because you're not popping top of mind. So use that opportunity really to dial in on who your ideal customer is.
Absolutely. And then specify your referral partners. So, who is likely to refer people to you? For me, it's a business coach or a business loan officer. Those are just two. I could go on.
Right. Other marketers, right? Whoever it is.
Other marketers, right.
Yeah. So who are you doing business with, and who else is doing business with your ideal client, right? Those are going to be your synergy partners. That's your ideal referral partners.
Yes, absolutely.
Take some time to think that through, right? Really, who's going to make sense? Who's going to see having you as a partner is going to be like, wow, that's awesome. I can't wait to work with this person, right?
Yes, absolutely. So precise referral partners. And people don't always think of this, but check your grammar and spelling. I didn't think of it when I first filled out my profile, but I saw one just yesterday, a profile was about a closet organizer, and that was in the logo. And then in the name of the company, when it was listed, closet was misspelled and you couldn't read it.
Whoops. Right. We're trying to show that we are competent business owners, and that helps if you spell the names correctly in the prominent words, and yeah, just give it another set of eyes sometimes.
Yeah. Have a friend look it over.
I always say we need spell check for fingertips. Would be really nice while we're typing. It automatically fixed it, but it's okay to run things through a spell checker first and then put it in the system. A lot of times I think with these kind of programs, we tend to type and answer the questions right there, right? Instead of doing it somewhere else, checking the spelling and everything, make sure it makes sense, and then pulling it in. So if you haven't done that yet, maybe it's a time to hop back in and all your profiles, Alignable and otherwise, just to make sure that it makes sense and spelled correctly.
And that it's current. Businesses evolve over time, so make sure that it's current. If you haven't been on Alignable for a while, it needs a little refreshing.
Yeah, go in, make sure that it still has the accurate services. Maybe you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not offering that anymore. Oh, but I am offering this. Maybe you need to add that in there too. Keep it up to date. So, if you haven't been in a while, and maybe it's been 3 months, maybe it's been 6 months, maybe it's been longer, hop in there, and you never know what new cool things they've added to.
Exactly. The Alignable is always evolving. It's always adding new features. So networking, how do you effectively network on Alignable? Well, it's engaging, really. So when you engage with people, you ask them questions to find out more about them. So ask them about, not just their services, which is good to hear that. Make sure you ask that. But then also ask them how they stand out from the crowd. What makes them different? So that when you go to refer somebody to them, you can say, you should really work with Christine because she really stands out from the crowd in the way she does this, matching up people, connecting people, whatever. So then I get to know how the person really presents their uniqueness. So when you can look at your network, people you're connected with, and see who has connections to potential customers for you. You can do that easily. If you have the premium version, the paid version, you can get Alignable 360, which will help with that. It shows you your connections, so the next level down.
Right. So if you're familiar with LinkedIn, you think about second level connections, right? Would kind of be your connections, right?
Exactly
Okay.
like that.
Now, I know Alignable, you mentioned, is very focused on local. So when you get to see the connections of connections, does that expand your local a little bit further then?
It does both. Because you usually network with people who are all over the country, or even all over the country. But then it depends on if your business is local, if your clients are local or not. See, mine are not. I'm virtual. I can work with anybody anywhere. So I have a lot of networking that goes on with people everywhere, right? But I also work locally because I tend to get more local clients. People like to support local businesses, whether they work virtually or not. So that's the beauty of Alignable. It matches you up with people who are in your area, who live near you. So, we mentioned avoid pitching. Just explain your services when you're networking, and who your target audience is. And then participate. I didn't do that at first, and I didn't get anywhere with Alignable. If I don't do anything with Alignable, I get nothing. And then I can say, well, Alignable doesn't work. Well, it works if we work it.
Right. Everything only works as much as you're willing to put the effort into it. So to really work it. Oh, good. Talk to us more about that. What's that look like in the Alignable space?
Well, there's a lot of events going on. So participate in these networking events. Most of them are networking. Some of them are just educational, but that's good too. Participate in those.
So how do you find those Alignable? Is it showing up in our inboxes? Do we need to go search for it? Is there a certain place we should be looking for them?
Both. They're suggested to you, and then you can search for them as well. Because there's certain, women in business, for example, may want to be in that group, in that networking group. So it's things like that. Events are both online and in person. So obviously local is in person, right? So I meet local people in person. I meet people from all over on the online events. Even some of the online events are local based, because they're in that what's called an alliance. Alliance is a group it's a networking section that's based on your location. So for me, it's all of Santa Cruz. For you, being in Dallas-Fort Worth, it's not going to be all of Dallas-Fort Worth. It's too big. They're going to give you a section smaller if you were the ambassador. Okay. Or just if you wanted to be a member of the alliance, it's going to be smaller than that. And you can search for that. So you search for your location and find your networking groups.
I love the idea of being part of an alliance. It sounds like almost Star Trek-ish.
It is. And in my alliance, we support each other. We meet in person once a month, and we really support each other and get to know each other in those meetings. And sometimes it's the same people again and again. But that's even better, because we can get to know them even better.
Mm-hmm. You got to build those relationships. It's not a one and done thing. It's a continuous staying top of mind at that point.
Yes, absolutely. So as with any networking, when you meet with somebody that you network with, you don't really get to know them that well. You might get to know what their business is, who their ideal client is, referral partner. But to really get to know them, you need to follow up. So schedule a one-on-one with everybody, because you never know who's going to know your potential client. So schedule
So
a
true,
follow-up.
right? And when you think about it, you might talk to somebody, and it's not like we said, it's not that you're selling to them, it's who they know. One of my businesses is with Mimosa, and so I know when I talked to somebody and they were in Europe, and I was like, yeah, I love meeting artists, and they're like, oh, I'm connected with a lot of artists. Well, I never would have known that if I hadn't mentioned it, right? And it's not that they're the artist, right? But they know artists, and that's who I wanted to meet. So it was like, oh my goodness. So if you don't explore, right, you have no idea who they know. So let them know what you're up to, whatever that is.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So the follow-ups, the one-on-ones are very valuable. And they don't have to be long, 15 minutes, half an hour, even 10 minutes. But that's more time than you get when you're in a networking event. And so it's time that you can connect with.
Yeah, you could. I believe Timothy likes to call it like a quick 10-minute discovery call, right? So kind
Uh-huh.
of dive in, get to know each other, explore some synergy, say, okay, is this something we want to continue with? Or is this something you're like, it's nice to know you. If I think it's something, I'll send them your way. But if it's somebody that you're like, oh, I really like them, right? No like and trust factor. You can dive in and you can have more follow-ups. Why not? Right? And never finish one meeting without having the follow-up for the next meeting already scheduled, right? If this is
Yes.
somebody you want to stay in touch with.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly. So during the meeting, you arrange for the next meeting. And so forth.
Absolutely. And there's people you might want to talk to over and over again. You might meet with them monthly. You might with them if they're really strong referral partner. You might even meet weekly, right? These are the people I've met this week. Let me make some introductions. Which ones look good for you? And toss them back and forth, right? Keeping everybody in our playground, right?
So Alignable makes it really easy to do that, because they refer people to you. I mean, they'll suggest people to you.
Nice.
And then they'll say, or your person in your network knows a lot of people, and they'll suggest you connect with that person again. Basically, you can do that. So let's talk more about referrals, because they know a lot of people who are my potential clients.
There's a lot of people in there you can play referral ping pong with. And if you're not familiar with referral ping pong, look up, once again, Give Our Marketing Network on YouTube, and you'll find something about referral ping pong on there, because I know Timothy and I love to play that game.
Nice. That's super. And then when you get to know people and you feel good about them, write a recommendation, even if you haven't received their service or product, but you know them and you feel comfortable with them and you feel comfortable recommending them, then by all means, go ahead. If you just barely met them in a networking thing and you don't really know them well, recommendations not as powerful. But I've been listed as highly recommended because I have so many recommendations, right? And you will be too. As soon as you get a certain number of recommendations, you're then also highly recommended.
Absolutely. And that's kind of put your stamp of approval, right, on somebody, letting them know that you appreciate them and you think they're trustworthy, right? So when you put that stamp on, you're saying, I vouch for that person. So make sure that you at least have had a conversation with them and that you feel like you know them, right? And then you would feel comfortable sending people to them.
Yes, and you recommend them. Chances are they're going to recommend you. On Alignable, that usually is what happens. Alignable also will ask, here's so-and-so in your network, do you want to recommend them? You don't have to, but it's a good reminder. Oh yeah, I do want to recommend that person. So that's what another factor that Alignable has. So we were talking about previously the membership levels. I do not have an affiliate. There's no affiliate links to Alignable, but I'm just making a suggestion. And when I talk about the membership level, first of all, the free guest membership, that's a good place to start. Get to know what Alignable is and how you can use it. And you have access to educational events. You can post in groups, which is another really great thing to do. Get your name out there. You comment on other people's posts. And you can make 5 connections each month. Now, 5 is not too many, but it's a place to start. And then you follow up with those 5, right, each month. And then you've got your free overview. Okay.
So that's what I'm wondering with the free version, right? 5 connections a month. But what about the paid versions? Do you get more than 5?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm showing you these because I have a recommendation about these too.
Okay.
I do recommend becoming a paid member once you've got a feel for Alignable. I recommend becoming, because, okay, so if you're a member, it's $29 a month. You get 15 business connections. That's 3 times as many connections. Okay. And you see who your network knows. You connect with potential customers. And you identify customers that they know. So as we were talking about before, this networking. However, just one more dollar, and you get 40 instead of 15 business connections. That's the version I'm in. That's my plan. It's $30 a month, and you get everything that the member gets, plus, it's 40. That's like almost 3 times as many connections. So it just gives you more opportunity to connect.
Yeah, and really that's nice, right? So that's how they do their membership, right? Is this throttling your access to the community, which makes sense, right? Every organization needs to make money somehow.
Yes, and then there's a Premium Plus, which lets you connect with 75 businesses each month. That would be a lot of networking for me. I don't do that much, so I'm happy with the Premium membership. And all 3 of those give you Alignable 360, which is a new tool they've added to help you see even more about who your network is, who do they know, and how they've been interacting with you, etc. So it makes it a lot easier to find the right people to follow up with even further. Just check in again with them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Some people are really busy networking, and 75 businesses each month is a good deal. So they might want that Premium Plus membership. So those are my recommendations on that. So just to summarize, first, we mentioned optimizing your profile. Make sure it's clear, specific, great profile picture on there of your face, smiling. And then begin engaging with people. Engage authentically. Rather than pitching, just focus on explaining your services and what you do, what makes you different. Use the tools. If you have the paid membership, you can use Alignable 360. Just use Alignable to whatever level you are signed up as, because all of the levels have benefits. Yeah, consider a membership upgrade, as we mentioned before. Follow-up, that is essential to follow up. And follow up with everybody. So if you're finding it overwhelming to follow up with everybody, maybe you go to fewer events, but do more quality interactions with people. I've been in events where there were 200 people in a Zoom call, networking. So you just meet randomly with people for 6 minutes. You have 3 minutes each. And that's great. But following up is completely different. It's completely an advantage to get to know people. And then they get to know you, and they begin to trust you.
Right. So if you're having difficulty with follow-ups, right? A lot of times I raise my kids to understand that if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So literally, I would say if it's not on the calendar, and they would respond with, it doesn't exist. So if you think about your follow-ups as something that you want to exist, right? Something as simple as putting it on your calendar, right? Setting aside time, or making sure when you do a connection event that you schedule an hour afterwards where you literally send messages to people following up, right? Put it on your calendar, make it a priority, because if it isn't, sometimes it gets bumped to the next day and to the next day, right? And then it just kind of falls off the calendar at some point. So if the follow-up is essential for building these relationships, right? Put it on your calendar. Show it that it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're going to invest, right, in a program like this, you're investing your time, you're investing your money, right? You want to get those best results on your investment. Otherwise, why bother, right?
Now I have follow-up on my calendar every Monday.
See, you've got a time set aside where you put it, and that's what it's dedicated to, right? Whether you need to do it through automations, putting on your calendar, if you have a CRM that you want to be able to send messages to, like, hey, it was great meeting you, whatever it is that you need to do to help get those systems in place. But you need a follow-up system.
Super.
I love this.
So that is the essential strategies for Alignable. And if you want them in a handout, you want these, you want to get the details in a handout where you can sit and read it, because some people learn more by reading, or they just want a reminder. Just go ahead and go to that link, and you can click on that, and you will receive a handout.
Awesome. So it's tinyurl.com/alignable handout. For those of you that are listening in. So go ahead, check that out, download that, and take some time to go through it, right? If you're going to add networking to your business, if you're not already doing that, or if you're looking to expand your network, right? Here's an opportunity to dive deeper and use a platform that, how many people were on this, you said?
9 million.
9 million people. So I don't want to hear anything about how I don't know anybody. I don't have any leads. Are you kidding me? Here's a platform we're putting right in front of you right now that has 9 million people on it. Right. So like Nate said, make sure that you are filling out that profile completely, figuring out what differentiates you from the other 9 million people on that platform, right? And dive in. Don't be afraid. Go out there. They're there for the purpose of making connections. If they didn't want to make connections, they wouldn't be on there. It's as simple as that, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. And Alignable is unique in the way they help you. There's a lot of networking out there that you can participate in, and that's great. But Alignable, actually, at the end of a networking online event, they show you who all you met with.
Oh, nice.
And have it up on your window of that once you log out of your meeting, and then you just click on them to connect with them.
Oh, well, if that doesn't get any easier. I'm just saying, I've been to a ton of networking events, and they don't give you the list that pops up on the screen afterwards. Well, all you have to do is click and hit connect. Talk about follow-up. So like I said, an hour after the meeting, right? Follow-up time, just go through and connect. It was great talking to her. Oh, sorry, we didn't get a chance to talk longer, right? Would love to dive into a deeper conversation with you, right? I see lots of synergy potential, whatever it is, but you can literally do it right after the meeting by clicking a button. Oh my goodness, that's a game changer right there, Nate.
Yeah, it's called Smart Connect. So if you go to a Smart Connect networking, that's what happens.
So look for Smart Connect networking opportunities, and this comes as part of the free membership, just the paid membership, what?
Any of the membership.
Any level membership. Ooh, right there. There you go. There's a game changer right there. That's a great reason to dive in and, go a little deeper, see what the other options are in there, because you gave us some great benefits in there. Wow. Nate, you really do know the inside scoop on how to use Alignable. Thank you so much for sharing those details with us. I've played in the playground. I'm like, I'll get to that later. And then I just never seem to get back to it, right? And I was just looking at my profile going, oh, that's right, I rebranded. I probably need to go in and update my company name. Oops. So yeah, I'm sure I'm not alone. If you've signed up and you need to go in there and rebrand things, set the time aside to do it. I think you've renewed my my enthusiasm for giving it a try, because as the networking diva, I love networking. So this is going to be a great tool for those of us that just thrive in building relationships. So if you're not in there, get in there. Look for Nate. If you're in the Santa Cruz area, especially, right?
Yes, absolutely. We have in-person events.
Yeah, see, and I hadn't realized really, you'd mentioned it before, but I wasn't thinking about local events in my area, right? It's always nice to see who's on there. So I love this. Wow. Okay. Any final thoughts for us, Nate?
There's just so much potential in networking. And there's so many ways to do it. And Alignable just makes it easy.
It does. It really does. I'm looking forward to it. All right. I'm going to commit to signing up and getting onto one of those Smart Connect events. That's going to be my action item walking out of this meeting with you today. I'm going to invite other people to do the same thing, and I'll see you inside Alignable as we continue to market our business through networking.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nate, for coming and playing with us today.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So you're going to see us next Tuesday for another marketing broadcast. Every Tuesday we market. But also, don't forget on Wednesdays, we have networking for marketers. So if you're in media, if you're in social media, any of the marketing spaces, website design, whatever it is that you do, we don't want you to be a lonelypreneur. You want to come hang out with us at Giver Marketing. So go to givermarketing.com/networking, register once, save it on the link. We meet every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 Central, which is Texas. Hello, that's where I am. And then 11 Eastern. So come hang out with us, have some fun. You get to meet awesome people. Normally Nate's in there saying hi, just a great group of marketers. And we're always looking for ways to help raise the bar for each other, whether it's connections, whether it's learning the latest, greatest marketing trends, playing with AI, you name it, we do it. So come join the family. That's a completely no cost event. It's our give back and our way of helping connect marketers throughout even the United States or globally. So come hang out with us. What do you think?
Oh, I love Wednesday mornings.
There it is. You heard it from Nate. So come play with us. Let's have some fun together, and we will see you all soon. Thank you.